Let's check out the next right here. Now, this is an interesting one. This one is the Cybertrix, and I think I've seen this one before, but it's my first time, obviously, handling it. We have a plain titanium handle and Boulder M390 blade. Let's take a look here, shall we? All right, got the Rike pouch, zipper pouch, and, all right, it would typically come inside this plastic bag, although this one, since it's a pass-around knife, it's already, I guess, been out of the plastic bag. Obviously, here's the, a little bit of a Rike card and the wiping cloth right there, also in the pouch. First impressions on this thing, man. Let me give it a nice little wipe right here. Right, wipe some fingerprints off of the titanium, but this thing is angular and like I see some very geometry lines going on here. Very futuristic too, that comes to mind as well. And I think this one may have a trick up its sleeve, so we're about to find that out together here. I see some thumb plates. These are not thumb studs, but thumb plates. I'm already feeling maybe a little bit of a sharp corner back here, if anything, but let's go ahead and get this thing open. All right, here we go. Bam. Holy moly. All right, let's get the blade police out here, guys. What blade shape is this? Is this a sheep's foot tanto? Is this a reverse and forward tanto at the same time? Is this just a sheep's foot with the tanto? What is going on? I mean, this is certainly unique and different, I'll tell you that. Unlike anything I've seen in the channel up until this point. It does have that beautiful bee-blasted finish that Rike definitely knows how to do. And it's M390, Cybertrix. We got the Rike logo and the collaboration logo right there. All right, this one is number 151. So these are numbered, and the show side is nice and clean. No billboarding on the show side, which is beautiful. We have a liner lock, and by the way, it's nice. And the liner itself is nice and raised beyond the handles scales, so you can easily, right, close the blade. Ooh, that's beautiful drop shot action. Take a look. Wow. And it looks like it might be on washers. So it looks like phosphor bronze washers or phosphor washers there. But I want to say maybe ball bearings, right? I mean, look how smooth this is. Wow. Super drop shotty, right? D10 is a little light, but I'm sure it's tuned to work with this deployment here, right? Which is nice and smooth. Wow. Okay, reverse flick. Ooh, yes. Absolutely. And you can use it with the fingernail portion of my middle finger. So that, you already know that is your boy's favorite way to reverse flick all day, every day. So no flipper of any kind, no front flipper, no back flipper. Check out the back spacer here. It goes all the way through, all the way to the back, which is nice. You got an interesting sort of logo going on there as well. All right, that is different. That is unique. And overall, man, this thing looks like, from the future, right? Like somebody came back from like the 21st century, well, not 21st century, but 2150 or something in the future and just dropped this knife. That's exactly what it looks like. Man, this thing is wild, just wild, right? Pokey tip there for utility cuts and stuff like that. Super sharp. Holy smokes. Wow. All right. So is there something going on back here that I'm missing? I wonder if this is the one that, I know there's one of them that has like a trick up a sleeve that you can like disassemble or disengage in some sort of way. I wonder if it's this one. Maybe not. All right. I will tell you one thing though, no hardware anywhere in sight. So if there's no hardware, how exactly do you disassemble this thing? Right? That is, oh, there we go. I've heard it click, so push down, heard it click. Does it slide up now? Come on now, work with me. What is going on? This thing is wild. It's like you're unlocking the secret code path to like the treasure hunt or what have you. Well, clearly I don't know what the heck I'm doing, so I'll have to come back to that if I can't seem to figure it out right now this second. Maybe it works when the knife is open.
A few moments later.
We'll definitely come back to that. I could be just trying to do something that I'm not meant to do. But in other words, I mean, how else do you get this knife apart? That is definitely where I am completely at a loss for words here. Check out this pocket clip. This is a crazy, look how long that pocket clip is. That is insane, right? A little bit too long for my taste, if anything, but Again, this is just a first impressions video, not a review in any way, shape, or form. So let's just do some size comparisons, shall we? So I did notice that it likes to kind of maybe fall that way. So I'm just going to try to keep it as flat as I possibly can. There we go. Bam. Here it is next to the Telson, another Rike knife. And I'm also going to throw in there the Cicada. Cicada is a Rike. This is a Ketuo and a Rike models. I mean, they're sister companies in a way. So, of course, take a look there for yourself. The Telson is just a tad bit bigger. But there's, it's a very close comparison. Of course, the Cicada is going to be way shorter, of course. Let's do some more of the typical knives here in the channel. Check out the PM2 and Para 3 from Spyderco. All right, USA made, very popular knives. The PM2 is a little bit longer. The Para 3, of course, is a tad bit shorter. Here's the Demko AD 20.5. Here is the Shark Cub, right? Both of which are actually smaller than the Cybertrix. Here's the Civivi Vision FG, right? Very comparable, actually, in size. Here's the Sentinel Strike from Civivi as well. This one's definitely going to be a little bit of a longer knife. And last but not least, the popular Raccoon and Pyrite, right? Both very popular models for EDC. Take a look right there, right? And both actually a little bit shorter than the Cybertrix. But you get the idea, right? The goal is just to give you a ballpark so you know kind of where the knife lands. But again, first impression is this is indeed a large knife, no doubt about it. And again, I'm still curious as to how do you disassemble this thing. All right, I'm hearing some clicking, right? I'm able to get it to click. But what's next after this is like cracking Pandora's box. So I'm trying to do it without having to look up somebody's video, right? But if I have no other choice, that's what I'm going to have to do. But let's just test the sharpness here on this thing. Go ahead and try here a very scientific cutting test with some paper. I mean, that is one thing Rike knives have. These things are extremely sharp. And this one is not even brand new out of the box. It has already been seeing some use via Lefty's EDC pass around. So again, shout out to Lefty. Go ahead and check out his channel if you haven't already. Shout out to Rike for sending these out for Lefty to check out and pass around as well. But yeah, you have a very interesting geometry though, because once you reach the peak, then the edge goes up. Right? I'm going to test both sides of the edge. Yeah, that's cutting really good. Just effortlessly, right? Very bitey edge, to say the least. Now let's check out some cardboard. This one is an interesting one. I have a section that is single wall and a section that is dual wall cardboard. Remember, when cutting cardboard, don't cut perpendicular like this, but rather at an angle like that. And here we go. I can actually get pretty close to the edge right there. Bam. Boom. Bam. Wow. Yeah, it is a flat grind, and it is a slicey flat grind, to say the least. And yeah, this thing is super, super sharp, right? Even though it's not a full flat grind. So it's only up until about that middle line right there, right? Everything else is just the thickness of the handle, I guess, which does get progressively thinner here, right? That's interesting. So yeah, it's actually pretty slicey. Half, kind of a half point, flat grind, not a full flat grind, but definitely puts in work. You guys rate it in the comments on a scale from 1 through 10, of course, 10 being the sharpest. How sharp is this guy? How much of an edge has it retained? Let me know. All right, let's talk ergonomics for a brief second. So it actually feels pretty good in the hand. You would think all these sharp angles will be sort of, pokey or stabby somewhere. The only corner I'm currently having an issue with so far, and again, this is just first impression, so obviously I'll have to carry the knife to gather more feedback, but this corner right here seems to be about the only pokey or stabby one that I can feel in my palm a little bit more. Only when, bearing down maybe closer to it, but in other cases, it works just fine. Even when, deploying the knife and stuff like that, I do feel it a tad bit in scenarios like that. But that's about the only thing I'm feeling. The pocket clip is extremely comfortable, right? A pocket clip is a good 9.5 out of 10. Of course, a 10 will be no pocket clip, but it's nice. And, again, it's a little bit too long for my taste, but it does make up being very sort of shallow, flat, with slightly chamfered edges. And it's just, you barely feel it there, if at all. And boom, this thing is, let's see, rock solid, no up and down, no side to side. play of any kind. That is welded in place. And the only other thing I'm noticing too is this is sort of the titanium that will sort of, you know, capture fingerprints a little bit more than other maybe finishes on titanium. There's a slight little ding right here. So in case that comes up later, I didn't do it, Kevin. I didn't do it. It came to me like that. But yeah, so the only other thing too is this portion of the blade here is also a little bit pokey. So is this one. But again, that was sort of intentional. You know, they definitely wanted to go the geometry route, you know, with this one, you know, hard angles with hard lines and things like that. There's definitely no curves, right? If you look at this knife, you don't see a curve anywhere, right? Even this section right here where you typically would find like a curve on a nice little belly knife of some sort. Nope, just straight line and a straight line. So it kind of looks like a Lamborghini of knives in a way, because it's all lines and angles, no curves here whatsoever. So curves left the chat when this knife was made. But again, it definitely brings something unique, something different to the table. It's not your run-of-the-mill knife in any way, shape, or form. And it definitely has that unique cool factor to it. So awesome action, right? For thumb deployment and reverse flick. Oof, yes. Very, very interesting. This is definitely going to be a conversation starter for sure, right? If anybody's like, what knife are you carrying? And I got this thing in my pocket, I'll be like, yeah, check this out. But yeah, you guys know how it goes. This is just a quick unboxing, first impressions video. So far, so good, making a great first impression. Obviously, I'll have to EDC it here, carry it to give you a more comprehensive review. But yeah, so far, I mean, I know Rike to be sort of a wild brand. Not only do they make Riyadh level quality, I mean, I think they make just as good of a knife as Riyadh does. I don't feel like Riyadh is any longer at the top of the best OEM coming out of China. And I think Riyadh is like right there with them. And they also make very interesting, crazy designs. Like most companies will be like, that design is too crazy. No, we can't bother making that or even trying to sell that. Rike is like, yeah, hold my beer. We're going to make it. We're going to go ahead and make it regardless. And you just got to love them for that. You know, got to love them for that wild, you know, knife enthusiast nature of let's just make it anyways and put it out there. Some people are going to love it. Some are going to like it. Some may not like it. Some may hate it. But we're still going to make it anyways because that's who we are. And, you know, you have to give them credit where credit is due, right? That bold approach of we're going to make it just because we feel like it. And here it is, boom, in your face. You know, that is certainly something unique to Rike, which I absolutely love. Absolutely, absolutely love. So,
one eternity later.
All right, so I ended up looking into it, right? I looked up the disassembly video on here on YouTube, and apparently you have to grab something that you could use to wedge in this back section here and then be able to pull back. So this whole back spacer piece comes out as one piece, and then the scales sort of, you know, slide in different ways off of the pivot, and then you kind of go from there. But again, this is not my knife, so I thought it was, you know, be something you could do by hand. I know some of them have a mechanism you can do by hand, but not in this case. I do know it is spring loaded, and then, you know, this sort of back spacer does wrap around a little notch right here, which you have to overcome with force, pop that out, and then slide it out that way. The whole back spacer comes out, and that's the beginning of disassembling the knife. But again, not my knife. I'll probably reach out to Lefty and ask if I can do it, but not as of this moment. So check the review video on this thing, because if I do get permission, I will do it for the review video for sure. Yeah, check this one out. It will be linked down below if you're interested. I will be dropping a comprehensive review on this knife here very soon in the channel. So definitely a subscription will go a long way. Make sure you don't miss out on that. If you found value out of this video, smashing the like button definitely goes a long way, and it pushes this video to a larger audience. If you want to support the channel a step further, there's a link for Patreon down below, or you can simply support the channel right here on YouTube by becoming a channel member. You'll get access to exclusive perks. That being said, guys, check out the unboxing of the Telson right here. I'm gonna put a video card for that one on your right side. Or if you check out the nice and small Cicada, which is very symmetrical, another wild, awesome design, check out that card on the other side as well, guys. Love you all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you on the next video, either this one or this one. Peace.